So glad you guys have continued on this journey as we kind of discover our purpose in life. And this last week, we spent some time kind of discovering where we are, and we've all found our collective here's. Today, we move on to a very important question in life: who? And really, there are two names we're going to look at in depth the next couple of weeks. This week, God; next week, Moses. Have you ever gotten a text from somebody and they're just very, very familiar in the text, and there's like, "Hey, we'll see you next week," and and you just have a number, you don't have a name on your iPhone, and you're going, "Who? You have to break down and say, "Who is this?" And that's the question we're going to get to today when God and Moses continue their conversation in the mountain trying to find purpose. Of course, the first name we come to is Moses. His name, Moshe, in the Hebrew, literally means to draw out because he was drawn out of the water. We'll get to his who question next week. This week, he comes to the question of who God is. Now, in the first couple of verses of Exodus chapter 3, God has introduced himself as the God of your father. Some people think that he's talking about his actual dad, whose name is Amram, but he goes on to say, "I'm the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob." This would identify for Moses the people of God from the Old Testament. This would remind him that he is Hebrew, and he would go, "Yes, I know the covenant God, I know the God that my dad worshiped, but I need something else." As they go into the conversation, Moses says to God, "God, I just foresee if I go into Egypt and the people are going to say, okay, God's going to lead us out. Who is this God? What is his name?" And that's where we pick up in the text here, chapter 3 again of Exodus, verse 13. "Then Moses said to God, if I come to the people of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? What shall I say to them?" And God said to Moses, "I am who I am." And he said, "Say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you." And so God introduces himself with this, actually a verb. He actually says to Moses, "Hayah, Hayah." You know, like when you're a little kid and you used to practice karate, "Hayah," that's the way you pronounce it. And it was God's way of saying, "I exist." The word literally is to be, to be. And so that name, Hayah, is changed into the noun, the name we have of God that we translate the Lord. His name is Yahweh, YHWH, because there were no vowels in the original Hebrew. So Yahweh, or Jehovah, we might say, the Lord. Now, what's really important about this for us as we come to this question that we ask, who are you, God? Who are you? Because God could have said a lot of things. He could have said, you know what, I'm the creator, I'm the eternal, I'm the redeemer, I'm the rock. He could have gone, I'm the provider, a lot of names for God in the Bible. But when Moses said, who are you? He said, I exist. Two quick things I just want us to share together as we journey this week and we try to discover our purpose in life. If you're going to find purpose in life, you're going to have to get to know this existence God. Because if he is existence itself, if he is before all time, before all people, then that means that your existence is within his existence, that you belong in his bigger story, and your existence is way smaller than his. You got to figure that out. The second thing is, if he is existence, then the only way I'm going to understand what my purpose in life is to understand why he created me and why he made me. I exist for him. So those are the big ideas we want to kind of think through this week as we study and we journey together. And I want to just make a special appeal here. Maybe there's somebody today, you're watching this video and you just don't know about God. You don't know who he is. You've never made a statement of faith to him. Maybe even you've been a follower for a while and you're just not sure where God is right now. I want to introduce you again to my God. He is the God who exists. He's the God of all existence. You and I exist because of him. And I hope you consider him. If you're not a follower of God, I want you to consider another name. The name Jesus is very familiar to us, but it's familiar because of what it stands for, and it was very intentional. When God became man, took on flesh and blood, he told Mary and Joseph, name him Jesus, because the name Jesus means salvation. Jesus came to save us from our sins. Those are the names of this week: Moses, Yahweh, and Jesus. There's a famous quote by a guy by the name of C.S. Lewis. He's the defender of the faith from England back in the day. And he says these three things. He says, you have to consider Jesus. He is either a liar, a lunatic, or he's Lord. My prayer this day is that we discover him as the Lord of our life. And I hope you take some time writing that at the end of our section here. And if you've not ever made him Lord of your life, I pray that you choose him today.